usually in the beginning of January. We had two big projects that we are contributing to that are at a very important phase. So one is the Center for Digital Wage Payment, and the second one is Prospects, and that is in a planning phase for the extension. So we found it was a quite nice timing for the colleagues to learn more about the other pillars and the themes of the social finance program, and also for us to have them with us to also benefit from the accumulated knowledge and expertise from the other years, the phase one, and to understand better what are their needs and to help them plan.
Basically, the idea was to have this knowledge exchange, right, between what we are doing here in HQ within the social finance program and what they have been also working on, practically speaking, within social finance components of their projects, and also to have knowledge exchanges between project teams. So between different country teams and also between the two different projects as well. So I think the linkage was also with enterprise specialists. How basically making sure that they were also integrated in the process of our work planning and ensuring that they were closer probably to the activities of the social finance program and knowledge exchange overall.
Mm-hmm.
So just that, we had them with us for the core, let's say, social finance retreat for 1 day and a half, where we have looked very quickly at the year that was behind us, and we looked ahead in terms of work planning globally. But also it was an opportunity for deeper knowledge sharing for them, and I would also see it as some capacity building, of course at a very shallow stage, but still, where they have learned about new themes, new products, new interventions from the social finance within the financial sector, because we were looking at only one angle, and we kind of broadened the perspective for them to look at the financial sector from different angles. So we had deep dives that were really looking at new themes for them, but also things that we're experimenting and grappling with from the social finance program perspective. And so for us it was interesting to hear from them and to have them as a sounding board of what we have been experimenting. And for them, they had great ideas, and we realized the days after that they had ideas from these discussions. And it was a nice segue to the Social Finance in Prospects mini retreat, where we have done more deep dives, diversified, but really from perspective of prospects and from what they have expressed to us as their needs to learn more about guarantees, to learn more about insurance in the agriculture sector, and so on and so forth. So in the 2 days where we were only dealing with prospects issues, we have done a lot of this knowledge sharing from HQ colleagues, not only us in social finance, to the prospects colleagues, and then also we had opportunities where the different colleagues have presented some of their interventions to each other. They are all in different stages in some of the intervention, different stages of implementation. So it was interesting, for example, for them to hear directly on what is now called, even besides Prospect, as the Iraq Prospects intervention, and to have ideas and to kind of think how this can be applied in the second phase in their countries. And then we had also, what I think was extremely interesting, is these case clinics where each one of them came up with a few questions that they needed the group to answer. And it was also a way to capitalize all of the learning that happened during the other days, during the 3 days, and to kind of transform it and to see how we can use it to answer these really very concrete questions, but also how to start planning and thinking about extension phase.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting place for them to know about the fact that social finance was not just financial inclusion, but it was also insurance and sustainable investing. And how did it apply to their work? So I think that what Yousra was mentioning a little bit about the social finance in prospects mini retreats was that after presenting all of the things that we're doing within social finance, they were then able to have those key presentations with the key people at social finance that are working on these issues, and they were able to ask, okay, so how do we apply climate risk insurance for refugees? How do we operate sustainable investing in, in a context where banks are completely illiquid and we want to inject capital within them? So how do we go about these issues that are touching our projects in a more practical sense? So I think the fact that it was face to face really encouraged those exchanges, and really helped us to create synergies between different countries, different programs, and just different themes within social finance overall. I also really liked the segment which was on frontier topics, where we kind of spoke about trendy topics related to social finance and had their field perspectives on them, and also within HQ we're kind of able to circulate ideas and that will in the end potentially fit into the extension phase, but also future collaborations.
I think the first point is really this feeling of belonging to a same team. That was extremely important. I didn't realize that, I didn't think about it as one of the objectives, but I realized that it's one of the big outcomes which will facilitate the collaboration way. Everything will be much easier, I think, in this virtual communication, to have had this moment of being together, talking to each other, will ease the communication later on. It didn't mean that the communication was complicated, but anyway, it will be even better. It was great, it will be even better. We came up with a list of actions for each of the countries, it was their ideas. And for us, Ines and myself, it also helped us to understand and to plan ahead where is the need and where would they need us, but also not only from what we can provide directly to them, but to the linkages to the other colleagues that are working in social finance that they might need help from. And for the colleagues as well, it is good for them to know and to plan beforehand on this. We also have our own homework to do, and it's nice also to hear it from them exactly what they need from us and what kind of support they need, either on a country basis but also on the global level, what we can do, what we can facilitate on a global level with partners, with potential investors, with more understanding of the financial sector, and so on and so forth. Just I wanted to finish by thanking the CTAs and the directors of the offices who allowed for such a meeting, who allowed for the colleagues from Prospects to join us, but also the enterprise specialists. So thank you.
Yeah.